Well, it's no secret that we love our national days here on CBS Detroit Mornings, and today we're talking all about wine.
We sure are. It's National Red Wine Day, and Sandra drew the lucky straw. She's celebrating with a glass this morning.
It is 9:25, right? It's already good to go.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. We're here with our good friend, Chef Johnny from Johnny's Speakeasy. We're so glad to have you here with us today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So we are talking all about red wine today,
Yep.
and you know, we were talking during the break that you guys are actually having classes where you're teaching folks all about red wine.
We are. You know, we've got a pretty big commitment to our wine program. We've got a few different sommeliers on staff. We just won our Award of Excellence from Wine Spectator. And as part of that wine program, we do wine classes every Thursday. This week we are doing red wine. We're doing Chateauneuf de Pape from the southern Rhone of France, which is a delicious blend of Grenache and Syrah, Mourvedre, and a bunch of other grapes.
So for folks, you know, like Red Wine 101, break it down for us. What are the differences between, this is a Cabernet,
Correct.
right? So
Yeah.
a Cabernet Sauvignon, we talked about Shiraz earlier.
Yeah.
What are some of the differences when you're talking about the different varieties of red wine?
Well, red wines, generally speaking, are either going to have dark fruits in them or you're going to have red fruits in them. So like if you drink a Cabernet like this, which has a lot of dark fruit, you're going to get like black cherry, black currant, blackberries, you know. Whereas if you're going to drink something with more red fruits, with a Grenache or a Pinot Noir would have that. You're looking at like red cherries and plums and red currants and raspberries and strawberries. But generally speaking, red wine is going to fall into one of those two categories.
So it's going to fall under that umbrella.
You're going to get some kind of dark fruits or red fruits in those wines, and then it's going to be usually complemented with the flavor from the wood that they put the wine in.
Okay, so explain for me, can you chill red wine? Because these are some of the biggest misconceptions. I mean, can you chill red wine, or do you have to kind of keep it at room temperature?
You know, I would say that the ideal drinking temperature of a red wine is right around 65 degrees. Okay. Now, having said that, my wife loves cold red wine. So she always puts it in the fridge, and then I always take it out.
So it's not a faux pas. I mean,
no, drink it however you want. You know, you're going to probably get a little bit more of the nuances and the aromas with the wine at 65 than you are at 55. But if that's what you like, hey, you know, everybody has a right to their palate. Right?
Yeah, and and I've always wondered, I mean, do you stick to certain varieties at different times of the year, right? I mean, don't you always hear like, okay, rosé is for the summer, red wine when we start getting into the colder winter months, and white, some people drink it all year round.
Yeah,
or
I mean,
is it just what you like?
It really is what you like. I mean, it really is what you like. But I will say for myself, and I like everything, okay? I prefer red wines that when a little cooler weather. Okay. You know, but of course, I wouldn't drink a white wine necessarily with a steak. I would always drink a red wine with a steak.
So
a lot of it has to do with what you're eating, you know, because wine is to some extent meant to be had with food.
Exactly.
You know, especially in Europe, it's very cultural over there.
So talk to us about what you've poured here this morning really quickly and what we're going to sample.
This is fantastic. This is from a small winery in Rutherford, California called Blacksmith. And this gentleman actually ages this wine for 30 months in a second-use barrel, which is very unusual. You know, but he happens to have a source of one-time use barrels from a very high-end winery, and he takes them and he puts them in there for 30 months. So you're going to get a wine right here. Now this is Rutherford Valley, it's the southern part of Napa Valley.
Okay.
Okay, he grows this up in the hills a little bit, so it comes from a little bit of elevation.
It smells phenomenal.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you get your nose in this wine, you got to realize 85% of what you taste is your nose. And it's a big deal. That's why we always serve these huge glasses at Alchemi, because you can taste the wine so much better in a glass like that. Nothing bothers me more than drinking wine.
Cheers. I mean,
cheers,
we got to get to it. And so we're going to give folks the info as well. Congratulations on your award. We're going to give folks the info as well where they can get to those classes. Johnny's Speakeasy in Royal Oak. Yes,
we're going to be we're going to have these upstairs in Alchemi, because there's two restaurants. There's Alchemi and Johnny's Speakeasy. And you can go to alchemiroyaloak.com under the events tab, and you can sign up for our classes. We have them every single week, and we taste 4 wines. We have some nice snacks, and we really kind of get into it, and we have a nice time sitting around a table drinking wine.
Sounds like a party. Doesn't get much better than that. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.